Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars. SoundCartel. Everywhere we look, it seems, property prices are just getting hotter and hotter, from the capital cities to regional areas across the entire country. So, should you invest? And if you do, what do you need to think about? From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. Nick Don, Managing Director of Odyssey Financial, says there are several ways to get into the investment property game. But he reminds us to leave our emotions at the front door. With house prices going through the roof, pardon another pun, Chris Ashmore asks Nick if now really is a good time to invest in property.
Yeah, look, property values have really just kept on rolling along in 2021. We've had growth around the country, 15, 20%, some areas more than that. Next year it's going to continue on, not as strong. All the experts are predicting maybe 7, 8, 9% capital growth. So there's one thing for sure. This time next year, this time the year after, properties will be worth more than they are today. So back to the first question, any time is a good time to start.
With a home loan, you need a fairly hefty deposit, or at least you used to. What's the case with a property as an investment? Do you need a deposit?
Well, you don't. There's a number of ways you can actually get into the investment property market. And one way is, yes, you need a cash deposit, just like buying your first home. But where most people are investing and how most people are investing are current homeowners or people with a mortgage. They might be sitting on equity. And what equity is your home might be worth, for example, $1 million. Your home loan might be $600,000. That means that homeowner's got $400,000 equity that we can tap into and use for a deposit. And this is where homeowners need to see their bank or a broker or a financial planner to discuss this. So, no, you do not need cash deposit to buy your investment property in a lot of cases.
We hear a lot about the term negative gearing, particularly around election time. And for those uninitiated in negative gearing, is it a good thing? What is it?
Okay, look, negative gearing, a lot of commentators actually get this wrong, a lot of financial commentators. Negative gearing, negative cash flow, positive cash flow. These are all terms that you hear and you read about. How it all works is when you own an investment property, you've got income, which is rent, and you've got expenses, which are interest and rates and water and that type of thing. If your expenses are greater than the income, then you have negative cash flow. It's actually costing you money to own that property. That negative cash flow you can actually claim against your taxable income. And what that means is you are now claiming negative gearing. You are negatively gearing your personal income, taxable income, with that loss or cash flow loss on your investment property. What positive cash flow is when you might be claiming certain expenses and you've got rental, but you also add in this other item called depreciation. And what depreciation is where a property investor pays a one-off $500 fee, $600 fee to a quantity surveyor, and they go through your property and they identify all the items in the investment property that they're able to claim under depreciation. And depending on the age of the property also, you can potentially claim the building costs of that investment property. So in a lot of cases, it's not unusual to have, for example, $10,000 worth of depreciation costs that you can claim. You add those onto your normal interest and property holding, and in many, many cases, the amount you're getting back from the tax department is actually greater than your out-of-pocket cost, which means you're still claiming negative gearing, but it's actually turned you into being positive cash flow. The property is not costing you 1 cent. It's actually paying you money.
So it's a good thing.
Absolutely, yes. If you are able to claim negative gearing, by all means, claim it.
Mazars is an international audit, tax and advisory firm committed to helping clients confidently build and grow their businesses. To find out how Mazars can support your business, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.
Well, Nick, we know it's all about location when it comes to buying a home. Is that still the case with property investment?
Yeah, look, location is important when you're buying anything. However, buying an investment property is a non-emotional purchase. It's not like buying your own home. Generally, a lot of investors, a lot of professional investors don't even go and look at the property. They're buying it off realestate.com, sight unseen. They might be buying it off the plan through a builder or a developer. What you do need to ensure, though, when you are buying an investment property is it's in a location that has demand from tenants. Some investors buy in their current area where they live because they know the locality. Now, in some cases, their area may just be like 95% owner-occupiers. It may not attract tenants. It may be the average property prices may be too high for tenants to actually rent. So you've really got to put your investor's hat on, or see a professional, or see a buyer's advocate or an advisor to identify where the best locations are for investment properties.
What are your thoughts about perhaps somebody young who has not yet bought their first home, and in fact, they might be thinking about buying an investment property instead of buying their first home to live in? Is that worth considering?
Without doubt. That is what we call rent vesting. So the young person or middle-aged person or whoever is renting, and instead of buying their own home, they're using their funds or their deposit and savings to invest. There's a number of potential benefits. One is that they're not tied down to where they live. They can still rent down at the beach or Bondi or over at Scarborough or wherever, and they can hop up and move interstate if they wish. They can use their funds for an investment property, and they can pick up some negative gearing and capital growth along the way. It's becoming very, very popular. I've got a couple of clients that are renting and have rented all their life, and they've got 4, 5, 6 investment properties. They've been paying the loans off. Coming towards retirement, they'll start selling some of their properties down, and they'll buy where they actually want to retire to. So, yeah, very, very popular.
Well, final question, Nick. Can we tap into our super funds to buy investment property, or is that just for first home buyers?
No, certainly isn't. This area is very, very popular. When we're buying an investment property, you are able to use your super. However, it's got to change from your normal industry or employer or platform type of super into what is called a self-managed super fund. A self-managed super fund is different to, for example, an Aussie super or a CBUS or an industry super, because instead of having an external trustee, you are the actual trustee of your own super fund. And being your own super fund, and as long as you've got a sufficient balance and sufficient contributions, you can join up with your partner or your wife or family members, up to 6 members within a super fund. Everyone puts their balance in, and then, yes, there is an opportunity to be able to invest in residential property, commercial property, industrial property. They must be investment properties, though. You cannot buy your beach home or your home to live in or a property for your cousin to live in. It has to be arm's length and for investment purposes.
That was Odyssey Financial Managing Director, Nick Don. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow at BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.